Hey guys, my name is Mia. Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to talk about how to do a style study of one of your favorite artists. What I mean by style study is how to do a piece that's very similar to one of your favorite artists. A style study refers to the idea of taking a artwork that you really admire by someone who you really admire and trying to do an artwork very similar to that. And hopefully by doing that, you learn a lot of their techniques and you pick up those things and you learn like why they made the decisions that they made, why they colored things a certain way, why they drew things a certain way. Hopefully by drawing their piece, you kind of get into their mindset. Now the artist that I am going to try to emulate today is Shilin. She has been one of my favorite artists since I was a kid, okay? Since I was like 12 years old, and I've been following her for years. I have her art book right here, so I can show you some examples. Does this not motivate you? I think that she is incredible. Obviously, when we're done with this exercise, I'm not going to be a clone of her, even though I'd really like to be. But hopefully I can get in her mindset, in her brain a little bit more, and just be able to take even 0.0000001% of her talent and skill and use it for myself. So you can see the picture that I'm using from her on the right side. And I chose that one because I really like the muted shadows. I really like the saturated pops outlining those shadows. I also really love how flowy her hair is. There's a bunch of overlapping pieces which look so good to me. Her line art is amazing. The eyes look so intense, and even her hands, like the way she does hands speaks to me, okay? So I want to absorb all of it. I want to absorb her skill. So here I am, and I'm doing some parts of the line art. As you can see, I found the hair the most difficult part because it's so meticulous and tedious, and there were so many different parts to it. They're all overlapping each other. It was like really easy to get lost and not know exactly where I was or what I was doing. I zoom in on mine, but I'm trying not to really zoom in too much on hers because I don't want to get too lost in all her small details and trying to make it exactly one-to-one. Like, I want to know how she's thinking. I don't need to make an exact replica of her piece. I just want to learn a little bit more like why she made certain decisions, get a bit in her head, and hopefully I can pick up some of those skills myself, maybe? So we're just continuing the lines. Oh my god. I gotta be honest here, I love her work, but I've never actually read her comic. You know, I love looking at pictures of it, but I've never read it. Don't tell her I said that though. I think this hand is so pretty. I was very proud of myself for that hand. Oh, one thing I really love about her work is, oh my god, the amount of like wrinkles. The way she does wrinkles and folds in fabric is so nice. So we're just going. Line arting is my least favorite part of drawing. Like I can't stand line arting. It is so boring to me. But she pays so much attention to her line art, so I couldn't really ignore it. Normally, like, I like to have a sketch and then just skip right to the painting. Okay, so I'm trying to get as close as I can to the colors that she used, but I didn't actually select the colors she used because I didn't want to cheat. Like, I want to find those colors on my own. I don't want to just get it from her because then I feel like I wouldn't learn anything. So it might not be an exact match, but hopefully it's close enough to sort of look like hers in the end. The only reason why I added that blue in the hair is just because since her hair is so light colored and it's kind of actually a really similar value to the skin, I didn't want it to get lost and I wanted to be able to see what I was doing, so I just chose that really saturated blue so I can see what I was doing a little bit easier. But it's not gonna stay that way, okay? I did not dye her hair. We're gonna fix it. It's just, as you can see, like, if I would have chosen the right color from the beginning, it really would have blended in with the skin a lot more. Would have made it more difficult to see what I was doing. Same thing with the shirt. I just chose that orange for a second to make it easier to see. So I'm getting to the shadows, and this is my favorite part. Her shadows are really muted. I kind of think I went a little bit too saturated at some points. It's like she uses a grayish for almost everything. It's like a very gray tone. So I think that my shadows might actually be a little bit too saturated. Like, Shilin uses a very gray tone for pretty much everything. If you look at their work, like, a lot of their drawings have this really grayish shadow, and then they just outline it with a pop of color. So in certain parts, I think that my shadows were a little bit too saturated, like maybe on the face, but I loved adding that pop of color. On the hair, I felt like it was kind of difficult to get her exact technique right. It's just like her hair is, it's her hair shadows are really, really, really light and subtle, and it just adds this like overall sheen to the hair by the time she's done. Maybe I was going a bit too dark. Also, now that I'm looking at it, I can tell that my hair isn't exactly the right tone. Like, I think that my skin is a bit darker than her skin, and I think my hair is a little bit more bluish than her hair. Her hair almost looks like it's got a greenish tinge to it. What do lobsters think about before they go in like a boiling pot of water? I don't know. There's a lot of like really, really, really subtle changes going on right here, and it's just me kind of outlining these shadows, so it's kind of hard for you guys to see. It's kind of hard for you guys to see because they're really subtle, just those areas where I'm trying to outline it and give the shadows that pop of color. And going to the eyes, it's like I want my eyes to be as intense as her eyes. Her eyes kind of have this blended quality where it's a little bit blurred, it almost looks like, and I don't think that I achieved that exactly, so it is something to keep in mind for next time. Next time. So like I said before, getting the wrinkles exactly right was very difficult for me, and I don't think we are quite there, but it was still a really good learning experience. I wish I knew. I don't think I got it in her head enough to know exactly like how she does her wrinkles and why she makes certain lines, you know, look a certain way. I don't like, she kind of has these squiggly details going on. I don't know how to emulate that, to be honest. So when I got to this portion of the face, I'm really zooming in on hers too, despite what I said earlier. It's like the eyes, they look so intense in her version. Oh, hello, Mr. Plain. How nice of you. Just come on by. Why don't you take a seat? There's like so much activity at this time of the day in my neighborhood, so I'm really sorry for all the background noise. I know that there must be a lot. I'm so sorry. She has improved so much throughout the years. It's insane. Like, her work always looked really high quality. It's just, oh man, it's so good now. It's so good. And I feel like as a kid, I was blown away by the quality of her work, and now I look back at her older pieces and I'm like, oh, that's amazing, but she's so much better now, and now I'm still blown away by the quality of her work. How do you still continue improving when you're this good? So let's talk some more about why you do a style study. I know we kind of touched on it before, but basically why you do a style study is if you see someone's artwork, you really, really like it, and you want to get something similar. You want to have that same feeling in your artwork. Maybe there's something specific that they do that you really enjoy, like a specific way they color their line art, a specific way they draw strands of hair. It could honestly be anything. If you try to mimic their art, it just helps you to get inside their head, and that's going to help you learn to make similar decisions as them. You know what I mean? Like, if you were to live a day in someone's life, you might understand more why they act the way they do. It's kind of like that, but with art. You draw the same piece that they drew, and now you understand them a bit more. You understand their mindset. You can do as many or as few of these as you want. You can do them for as many different artists as you want. Honestly, I recommend doing several for each artist who you want to learn from, not just one. I did a couple other style studies too, not of Shilin, but of other artists, and for those style studies I approached them a little bit differently. I'll probably show you in another video, but I really just recommend doing as many as it takes for you to learn what you want to learn from them. It's like you're reverse engineering how they did their picture, kind of. So she changes the color of her line art. I had to go back in and do that too. Here's what I felt like I learned from this piece. Okay, so I felt like I learned a little bit more how she kind of overlaps her hair and how to approach that feeling of having flowing hair. On the other hand, I don't think I understand it enough to emulate it in multiple other art pieces, but I do think I kind of came a little bit closer there. I feel like I learned a little bit how she shades her pictures. Her shadows really aren't that dark, and she doesn't do a lot of highlighting. It's all very subtle. It's just the color she uses to help make it stand out. And then her line art is what really pulls things together and makes her piece stand out even more, especially since she adds more color and saturation inside of her line art. And like, it's just, there's so much care put into the colors that she chooses overall, like for the background, for the hair, for the shirt, all of it. There's so much care there, and you can tell she's really trying to think of a cohesive color scheme that all matches, and all these colors complement each other very well, and they all serve a purpose. I don't really know how else to say it. They just all serve a purpose. Thank you. Like, there's a lot of little details that she does, and it's not just in this piece. Like, you can tell I didn't do the background. I wasn't confident enough to do the background, but there's, in all of her pieces, there's so many little details, and I just want to show you. Like, you can see that thing that she's holding in this piece, but in other pieces too, I feel like she's very well known for going crazy on little details. Just like, she has to be a masochist, you know what I'm saying? It's insane. I feel like she gets pleasure out of torturing herself with these little details. And all of her character designs are like, oh, so crazy, so complicated, just with little things. Anyways, I'm the opposite. I kind of hate little details, and I tend to like drawing character designs that are more simple and not too crazy, but I really appreciate work like hers, so I do want to learn from it. Even though in this piece you can tell I wasn't very passionate about the object that she's holding, and you can also tell I wasn't passionate about the background since it never happened in the first place. Whatever. Despite the fact that she doesn't seem to do that much highlighting on her characters or in their hair, on their clothes, she does do a lot when it comes to like shiny or metallic objects, which is pretty cool. So some things that I think I could do better if I were to do another style study of Shilin, would be to maybe slow down a bit, especially when it comes to the initial sketch. I think that like my proportions don't match hers close enough really, and especially when it comes to areas like the hair, you know, mine looks a little bit stiffer than hers for sure. I also think that I should have taken more care when it came to picking the colors for the hair and the shirt. I realized that there's a little bit of blurring going on in the eyes, so next time I want to do that right. And I think if I did it again, I would also try to get some more of those small details, and I wouldn't ignore the background maybe, because that is part of her style and it's part of her mindset, so ignoring it doesn't make a lot of sense. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this style study of one of my favorite artists, Shilin Let me know if you want to see more videos like this. Let me know what you kind of think of this talking over a speed paint sort of deal. If you want to see more videos in the future, comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another video, and ring the bell, okay? Do that. Alright? Do that. I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.